Episode 8. The Rhythm of Rio, Dancing to the Beat of Your Own Life. Have you ever felt like life was moving to a rhythm you couldn't hear? Like everyone else was dancing effortlessly, while you stood on the sidelines, out of step and unsure of where you fit in? That's how I felt in Rio de Janeiro, a city where music flows through the streets like blood in its veins. I didn't come to Rio expecting to learn how to dance or how to live, but sometimes the most important lessons find us when we stop trying to be perfect and start moving to our own beat. This is the story of a night in Rio, a rhythm I couldn't ignore, and the freedom I found when I stopped trying to be someone else.
Rio de Janeiro is a city that pulses with life.
By day, it's breathtaking. Golden beaches, towering mountains, and the famous Christ the Redeemer statue watching over it all. But at night, Rio transforms. The streets come alive with music, with people dancing, singing, and celebrating as if life itself were a party that never ends. I arrived in Rio feeling out of place. I had spent the past week racing from city to city, camera in hand, trying to capture every moment and every sight, but I wasn't really living any of it. I was watching life happen instead of being a part of it. That night, someone at the hostel mentioned a Samba street party in Lapa. "You can't miss it," they said, their eyes lighting up. "It's not just a party, it's Rio." I was hesitant. Dancing wasn't my thing. I'd always been self-conscious, afraid of looking foolish, but something about the way they said it, "It's Rio," made me curious. So I grabbed my jacket and went. Lapa was alive. Hundreds of people filled the streets, locals, travellers, young and old, dancing to the sound of samba bands that seemed to be everywhere at once. The air was electric, pulsing with energy. I stood on the edge of the crowd, watching in awe. The dancers moved with a kind of effortless joy, their bodies swaying and spinning, completely in sync with the music. No one seemed to care how they looked, or if they were in perfect time. They were just feeling the music, letting it carry them. I wanted to join them, but I couldn't move. My feet felt glued to the ground. "You're not here to watch, meu amigo," said a voice behind me. I turned to see a man with a broad grin and a tambourine in his hands. He looked like he was born dancing. "I don't know how to dance," I said, feeling embarrassed. He laughed, a deep, contagious sound. "No one here cares about how. You just have to feel the rhythm." He tapped the tambourine in time with the music and nodded toward the crowd. "Come on, one step at a time." I hesitated, but then he pulled me into the street before I could protest. "Don't think, just listen," he said, tapping the beat against my shoulder. At first, I was stiff, awkward. My movements felt forced, like I was trying to follow steps I didn't know. I kept looking around, worried that someone would see me messing up. But the man just laughed again. "Stop watching them. Close your eyes. Listen to the music." So I did. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and let the drums wash over me. I felt the rhythm in my chest, in my feet, in the air around me. And slowly, I started to move. Not perfectly, not gracefully, but it didn't matter. I was dancing. Something shifted in me in that moment. For the first time in a long time, I stopped caring about being perfect. I stopped worrying about what other people thought. I just let go, let the music carry me, and danced like no one was watching. Hours later, I found myself sitting on the steps of the Celeron stairs, my heart still pounding, my clothes damp with sweat. Around me, the party was still going strong, but I felt peaceful, grounded in a way I hadn't in years. The man with the tambourine sat down beside me, his grin as wide as ever. "You see, you found it." "Found what?" I asked. He tapped his chest. "Your rhythm, it's yours, no one else's." I smiled, realizing he was right. Dancing in Rio had nothing to do with perfect steps or looking good. It was about showing up, being present, and moving to your own beat, whatever that beat might be. And maybe that's what life is too. We spend so much time comparing ourselves to others, trying to fit into rhythms that aren't our own. But life isn't about being perfect or in sync with everyone else. It's about finding your own rhythm, your own pace, and dancing to it, even if you stumble along the way. That night, Rio taught me that joy isn't something you wait for, it's something you create, one imperfect step at a time. So I'll leave you with this. Are you sitting on the sidelines of your own life, waiting for the perfect moment? Or are you ready to step into the rhythm, however messy and imperfect it may be? Because sometimes all you need to do is take the first step and let the music carry you. Next week, we'll travel to Finland, where a burning sauna in the middle of winter taught me a powerful lesson about letting go of the things that no longer serve us. Until then, remember, life's rhythm is yours to find. Don't wait to start dancing.